Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome back to the QPR Career Mode. If you're not all nice and caught up, go check out the playlist, get yourself caught up, and then of course welcome to today's episode 2 of our second season in this save here. And in the last episode we made our first signing of the Premier League era this time around. As you can see on screen, QPR bag a bargain, and that we did as we picked up Reece Oxford for £6 million, which was truly ridiculous. Apparently we could have got for 4.5. Don't know if I believe that. His market value was 7.5, but I'm very happy with how much we picked him up for. But I've been going through all your comments, and I think this is easily the last episode, the most commented on video in this series by far. I've got the comments sort of in front of me here now as well. Absolutely crazy. The amount of comments, I really do appreciate it because it helps me a whole lot. So thank you very much for everyone dropping all of these comments. Just going through a lot of people, there's a bit of a mix of opinions, which is kind of going to happen as and when, you kind of get a lot of people commenting on, one video with different opinions, and a lot of people with a bit of a mixed opinion about Kelleher first and foremost. Now, people saying there's not really much point in signing a second first team keeper, which I have to agree with. Thinking about it, signing another goalkeeper at a 75 rating would probably be a slightly silly thing to do, because I'd be spending probably around £6 million or so out of our already slightly limited budget. It's quite a healthy amount of our wages being used as well for a keeper that would kind of potentially end up rotating with another keeper. So it's maybe not the smartest choice. I think what I might have to do is go in and try and hopefully find a youth keeper that we can scout. We have Walsh at the moment. We also obviously have Mahoney, one of which is going out on loan. I think it was Mahoney that went out on loan, and Walsh is sticking around. So Walsh is far too low rated to be our second choice keeper for a Premier League side. And that is just me being honest. If that was to happen, I think we would end up being in a little bit of trouble, just being entirely honest with you. But I think the keeper situation is maybe one that we will cross once the rest of our squad is a little bit better sorted. Now, one position people did highlight is a right back. You can see I've gone and scouted a bunch of right backs, quite a lot of right backs, in fact. And actually, I think it's worth pointing out, normally what I do is go and look at the teams that have been relegated. That is like a main staple of a transfer window for me, is look at the newly relegated teams if I've gone up and see who we can potentially pick up. One of which was Max Aarons, who went down with Bournemouth. So I think he could be a very good option. But I've kind of gone through and looked at either players that aren't necessarily first choice or are in and around first choice, but I think will be around sort of our squad rating that we're looking for, which is kind of mid-70s, sort of high silver, low gold, if you think about it in a foot sort of scenario. So Aarons could be a really good shout for us, obviously, from a relegated side. Gusto is obviously not the first choice right back at Chelsea, as they have James, and I did double check that fact. He is still there, so could potentially be somebody we pick up. Whoever, I don't think he's the starting choice at Wolves. I'm fairly sure they've still got Semedo. So again, could be a good option rotation. Good young talent, has less than a year in his contract. Lamptey, fantastic young right back. Obviously is the first choice at Brighton, but I don't think his rating's crazy high. We will find out, though. He might be a bit too expensive. Likewise with Livramento, obviously playing second fiddle at the moment to Trippier, who again is still there at the moment, so he isn't the first choice. And then Jed Spence, obviously back up right back at Spurs at the moment, could again potentially be a player we bring in for a bit of a bargain, hopefully, that kind of sort of rating of player. And you guys know I love Ozzy Kakai. Ozzy will end up being on our bench. He can play centre back, he can play right back, he can even play left back, so he will be great versatility off the bench for us in a defensive scenario. So just thought I'd add a few right backs to the mix of things. We still have a lot of centre backs that we're looking at here. I am going to get rid of a few people saying that I should really go and pick up Cashin, and my thought process with Cashin is that will mean that I have got 4 70 plus rated centre backs. So if we're to pick up Cashin, it would be at the expense of Jimmy Dunn. Jimmy Dunn would then have to leave the other way. So I'm a little bit torn on doing that right here, right now. My thought process is maybe we go in for Cashin if somebody comes in with a decent enough offer for Dunn. We did reject an offer for Dunn in the last episode, so I've maybe passed up on that opportunity, but time will tell and we will find that one out. I have also had a little scout on a couple of other centre-backs as well. Mengi for the relegated Luton. The release clause maybe makes me think that his rating's not going to quite be what we want. But also Ahmedozic, probably said that wrong, and my controller's died. Controller's back. Ahmedozic is how I'm going to say that, probably saying it wrong. Obviously, very quick centre-back at Sheffield United. We've got Hursty as well. The American centre-back could be coming in and also has the versatility of left-back as well. So there's a nice bit of versatility there for that one. Still waiting on Christopher Wu's actual rating and everything, but 5 mil is a maybe. Quite a few people saying to go in for Hugo Bueno. Now, my thought process on not going in for Hugo Bueno is that Kenneth Powell is probably, rating-wise, better suited for his Premier League-wise than Ozzy is at the moment. I would say the right-back scenario for in-game sake is more in need of an upgrade than the left-back. However, if it ends up being that we potentially got the cash to do so, or it makes sense to potentially bring him through, Bueno is definitely somebody that is on my radar. We're also looking at Giles and Doughty from Luton as well, two potentially pretty good options for some left back. Doughty can play left and right back, so I thought actually that's a really good option potentially if his rating is suitable. Into midfielders, Tyler Adams. Now, he is quite a pricey boy. He's 25 years of age, but he could come in and do potentially a job for us and be an absolute beast in the middle of the park. CDM and central midfield capabilities, and would just be an absolute rock in the middle there. He would just come in and do exactly what we need him to do. He would be around half of what we have got left cash-wise. That is the only problem here. So got to think about that one. That one's not a definite, but we will potentially look at a couple of other options. Tim Eric-Bunham would still be great. Asugo would still be great. We've also got Nakamba scouted just to see what his rating is. Release clause of 6, so jury's out a little bit there. We also have Munetsi potentially to hear back from too. And then we've got Cook, Billing, two other players obviously relegated with Bournemouth. Billing, I'm not the biggest fan of Billing IRL. Just he seems like a bit of a troublemaker in the dressing room, and I'm not fully convinced that I want to bring him in. Cook could be a good shout in the middle of the park for us as well. Gustavo Hamer coming down with Sheffield United, absolute baller. Could definitely come in and do as a job. Again, would be a bit of a box-to-box vibe, so we'd have Field stay back and Hamer would come in as the box-to-box. Tom Davies, I was asked to give him a scout. Don't see why he's not got a player face on his image in the bottom, but he has got a player face up in the corner there. But yeah, just basically now is a bit of a waiting game to see what comes back from. Also added Archer as another person who was a maybe. Ferguson has gone down with Sheffield United, but again, is a lot of coins. A lot of cash, I should say. A lot of people mentioning Larson. Now, my brain right here, right now, I'm just going to re-go through and try and find Larson. I don't know if Larson's somebody that I have scouted and everyone's like, yo, go and pick up Larson. But there were quite a few people who said, right, yes, Jacob Brun Larson, right. My brain got there eventually. Quite a few people said, yeah, Larson's actually a really good shout. Mr. Eddie Neddy, for those who don't know Eddie, sort yourselves out. Great content creator. Go show him some love. BJ Beast also said to pick him up. So there's a handful of people. There are quite a few people, not just those two, but other people too, saying he's a really good player to potentially go and pick up. So you know what? We're going to start off today. Oh, I say start off today. We're about 8 minutes into recording. Picking up Larson, free agent. Great addition to the squad, I think. He's going to be on about 40 grand a week, but that is kind of to be expected. We are in the Premier League. And he is going to come in and start ahead of Lyndon Dykes. That is the plan. 5 goals, 230 grand. You know what, mate? I'm going to say no to that. £32,500 a week. 300 just short of, so you know what, 33 grand and £290,000 signing on. Absolutely okay with me. Larson, mate, welcome to the club. Very happy to bring him in what was a pretty easy transfer negotiation in the end there. And yeah, I think that's a real great addition. Real great. Let's get him through the doors and see what kind of player we're going to have on our hands here. I'm really glad to see him coming through. Oxford, the new signing, introducing him, saying hello, welcoming to the squad. He saw Phil do it last time and he's picked up the reins to introduce someone this time. I'm fairly sure, technically, as far as the calendar is concerned, this is actually the exact same day that I signed him. So there's that. Oh, I've just realised You guys can probably hear that audio twice, and if you could, I'm really sorry. But Larson, welcome into the club, my friend. Very excited to have you here. Hopefully the first of a handful of signings. And yes, kit numbers, by the way. Kit numbers will be sorted once we have made sort of the batch of our signings. Once we know sort of who is through the door, I will sort out kit numbers. But that's not going to be an immediate thing. But it will happen, hopefully, in today's episode, because hopefully we are going to be picking up a handful of players. I don't know if we're going to... Well, we probably won't get into games today. We might do some of the simming for preseason, but I don't think we're going to be starting any games anytime soon. But yeah, very happy with that. Great addition to the squad. 2 signings through the door, Reece Oxford and Jacob Brun-Larsen, who, by the way, as a total, have cost us £6 million. Mental. Okay, a few offers in here for a few people. Firstly, Said potentially going out on loan either to Elche or to Watford. I'm absolutely fine with both. Holmes going on loan to Sheffield United, going down into the Championship to get some game time. Absolutely fine with me, because I think he will play a little bit. And Udinese now coming in for Ilias Chair. Again, it's going to be a no from me. One thing I meant to mention earlier, had quite a few suggestions for cam-style players. I don't think we need cam-style players, if I'm being brutally honest. We've got Chair, we've got Willock, we've got Chaplin who can play there. We've got someone like a Smith who can come in and do a job. So I appreciate the cam suggestions. I don't think we need that right now. And with the limited budget we've got, I think we need to maybe focus more on the positions we're slightly lacking in. But I do appreciate the suggestions. And as and when down the line, it could be that we actually need those. Some wheeling and dealing confirmed here. Not only players coming in today, but players also going out. Ibrahim Spencer on a 12-month loan to a team I'm not even going to try and pronounce. Joe Walsh also now confirmed out on loan to Tanana, going off to, I believe it's Italy, Tanana. So he is out on loan now, which means that it will be Murphy Mahoney as our backup keeper for the foreseeable future at the moment. And as much as I think Mahoney could be a real good player in real life, I don't really want to have to rely on him in this save, because we're 59 rated in the Prem is going to be a problem. More players out on loan, and now we see Michael Holmes complete his loan move to Sheffield United. Again, hopefully, I think a real good potential for him to go out there, get a little bit of game time and work his way up. But, you know, they have got a lot of centre-backs, 2 of which we were looking at ourselves. So, you know, there is going to be competition, but I have had a couple of players back, so I'm going to see if anyone jumps out and I'll let you guys know. So the players that we were having a look at, Edwards come back, 70 rated, 2.8 mil. That's actually not bad at all. That's actually a pretty good price for a 21-year-old as well. So that's definitely something that I will keep on the radar, sort of in comparison to Wood, who is same rating, ever so slightly older, literally just a year older. And you're looking at a very similar price. It's not a bad little shout, that. It's somebody that we will definitely keep an eye on, similar to Cashin. I think both of those are potential good little players to pay attention to going down the line. I'm just going to get rid of a few players here because I've got so many players that we are scouting. Munetzi, 78 rated, and it's going to cost us around 11 mil if we were to go in for him. So kind of similar sort of situation to the Adams, slightly older, more experienced rock in the middle of the park. And not quite as expensive, so could be an option for us bringing in as that DM role. I really do think so, especially with the versatility he provides. CDM, cam, centre mid, very versatile, offers a lot of different things and roles that we could have him play in that middle of the park, so we'll keep an eye on him. Also, Wu has come back now, 22 years old, 74 rated, not bad at all. Again, another decent option. Now, before I say his name wrong, I apologise to DK, the Porto fan, the man, the myth, the legend. Yes, I'm saying his name wrong. His name's Jamie to me now. Again, not a position that I need to fill in that sort of centre attacker midfield role, but a nice looking player, good stats. Like he does have like a real nice looking in games, because I did have a little gander at them. Yeah, we just don't need that cam roll's the issue. More players completing loan moves out. Salim Said off to Watford, staying in England, getting himself some game time. I believe they're in the Championship. I don't think that they didn't come up today. So yeah, they're off to get some more game time, hopefully. But our squad is starting to really thin out. We're now getting to a point where, you know, this is everything we've got left. Cabral and Park both have loan moves potentially agreed. So our squad depth is now through the floor. It's really important we get this transfer window right. We need to now really focus on these players when we bring them in, because realistically, I need to wait for these reports to come back, and then I'm going to make the decisions. We're going to sign a right back, we're going to sign a CDM, and then we're going to work out what to do with the rest. Okay, so let's get into this first game. I've set everyone to sort of a training style that will mean that they're really focusing on their match sharpness for now, and then I'm going to change it to sort of be a nice mix of the two. I just wanted people to have half a chance of being vaguely match sharp at the moment. But this is, as things stand right now, our starting 11. This is like the go-to starting side at the moment. So this game hopefully will give us a slight indication of things, because we're playing against, I'm fairly sure they're in the top flight of Spanish football, but you know, a team that should pose a bit of a threat. So we'll see what kind of form we're in. A 2-1 loss, it's unfortunate. Armstrong gets himself a goal. A couple of changes, both fullbacks changed. Jimmy Dunn coming on at right back might not have been the most ideal thing, but it's good minutes in players' legs there. Just a couple of very quick things, just me, again, just going through some of these comments. Had some people suggesting picking up players from the Swedish league because of Marti Cifuentes. Now, one thing worth bearing in mind, I do like trying to keep to realism. In this save, Marti Cifuentes is not in charge of QPR. It is me. It is not Cifuentes in this scenario. So unless there are sort of players that make sense to me to sign because they're kind of players we're looking at, I'm not going to kind of just sign people from the Swedish league just because of that. Hope that makes sense to people, and that's not me just like ignoring what's been said there. Also, Reggie Cannon was mentioned a couple of times. Reggie Cannon's not in this save. Sadly, I made the save before Reggie Cannon was at a club, so he's actually not even available anywhere. If I search up Cannon, he doesn't exist. And that is purely because, again, he wasn't at a team when I made the account. So there is no Reggie Cannon in this. Otherwise, he'd already be at the team. I'm also not going to ignore something I just saw here a second ago. I'm almost 1,000% sure I just saw that England won the European competition. Did I see that right? Boys, champions of blooming Europe, lads. Let's go. Well, Dexter Park also confirms his loan move out. One of the two that I was talking about. Cabral is the last player that has a loan possibility and hasn't been confirmed yet. No one else is going out on loan. Those other three youth players are staying in for some form of sort of youth depth in the starting squad. So Peder is not going anywhere, but I will accept the loan moves for Cabral for him to go out. But yeah, it's no more outs, just ins. Okay, a little bit of rotation. Dunn coming in, Richards, and then Chaplin and Dykes up top. Just sort of rotating some of the players that are going to be in and around the squad. Also, some of the only players that didn't play because we don't have much depth. But Chaplin gets himself a goal. Reece Oxford comes on for a little bit, as does Larkesh again. We do concede in the first half. But again, a point against Ibar, not too shabby. Again, I'm fairly sure a top flight Spanish side. So we take those. Okay, our first monthly scout report, an important one as well, which we'll get to in 1 second. Worth noting, Lamptey, 11.5 mil approached by Nice. So it gives us a rough guideline of the sort of price we're looking at. It might be worth Inamo having a look at potentially going and seeing if there's any more information for now. I might just wait for the full reports. We've got so many players we're looking at. It would suck to miss out on someone, but Lamptey going isn't the end of the world because we've got other options there as well. Smith, I'm not accepting an offer for Smith at the moment, but let's look at this monthly scout report. Again, these scout reports are going to be very, very important. So you can play centre-back, centre-mid or right mid, 46 to 60. 160 starter means he's not going to be that high rated to start off with. 46 to 62, probably looking at sort of mid 50s there for Alexander. Lance Hall, 60 to 85. I think 85 rated as a max, sadly, is not going to be enough this time round. Will Andrew, 47 to 65 rated. You know what? I think we'll sign Andrew. 71 to 94. We'll take that. I think that's a pretty good potential. And then Hugo Berry, again, that potential is not enough for me, my friend. But we'll keep scouting Finley, Alexander and Aaron Sanderson, just in case anything comes back for either of them for being half decent. And let's have a quick little look at Andrew. So Andrew is 71 to 94 rated, 57 starting rating. That is not too shabby at all. Dribbling's quite nice. He's not overly quick, so it's not that he's a winger. Let's get that passing up a little bit and get that 5-star weak foot. We'll go with that. I think that's a good training drill for now, but nice. Not a bad little addition early doors there. Sinclair Armstrong is a wanted man. Real Madrid for 4.8 million. I mean, that's really hard to say no to, but I just know that he's not going to play. That is the only reason I'm going to say no to that, Sinclair. I'm sure you'd absolutely love a life in Spain, mate, but I'd quite like you to enjoy life in London as well. And I can promise you more games, Sinclair. I can promise you more games. But jumping into our final preseason game, you can see this is where the squad depth is currently an issue. Clark, Salter and Ozzy are both really tired, but our other options are more tired than them. So going to just have to quick sim with the squad we've got up against Cagliari, a top flight side in Italy. It's a 0-0 draw. It's honestly not the end of the world. I'll honestly take that because, again, it's just good points. I think it's impressive performances overall their preseason. I don't think that was too shabby. Our first league game is up against Villa, by the way. Wow. Well, the main thing now is just to wait for these scout reports to come back on these players, because that right there is going to be the next piece of information for us. I don't think we'll get to the Villa game just yet. That, by the way, is Cabral going. So that is our final player leaving the club by loan or sale, as far as I'm concerned, for this transfer window. But yeah, now it's just a matter of waiting for those reports to come back. Okay, our first few coming through here. Ahmedzovic, by the way, potentially again off to Augsburg, 15 million. So he might be off the cards. A little bit too pricey. Lamptey did go to Nice and he is 77 rated. So would have been a good pickup. I wouldn't have been upset with that, but it would have been a pretty penny there. Livramento, 12.5, 45,000 pound wages. That's not too shabby. That's relatively doable. And Jed Spence, you know what? That's a really good price for Jed Spence. £10 million for a 75 rated right back. Offer in for Willock from Forest, just as a heads up that it came in, but it's a no. Another offer in, this time for Dazelle from Sheffield United. Again, a no. I just don't have the depth. But you'll notice game week 1 is getting ever so close. The backgrounds change now. It's one day before match day and they all come in. So we are going to be able to make our signings just before the most recent, or the first game of the season. So without further ado, let's have a look. Okay, so Spence, he has only got a year in his contract, so he is going to be a player we can pick up for a little bit cheaper. Very, very okay with that as a possibility. Livramento has got longer on his contract, younger and higher rated, so is going to be worth a bit more there. Lamptey has just gone, so I'm going to rule Lamptey out. I'm actually going to remove him from our list just because, again, I think the levels of realism of signing someone that you've only just sort of moved, I think is a little bit BS in my opinion. Whoever would actually be a really good cheap signing, 22 years of age, 70 rated and only £2 million, almost seems too cheap for me. Almost seems like he is too cheap. So I'm going to possibly pass on whoever, because it's not a huge upgrade on Ozzy Kakai. At that point, it makes more sense for me to just keep Ozzy in the mix of things. So we'll hold fire on him for now. Out of those three, I think Spence is a really good shout, but we have got other options. Gusto, far too expensive. It's a no from me. Abel Ruiz, again, too pricey for our blood there. He is 20 odd million pounds. We cannot afford that. Lewis Cook could be a good little option here for us. Again, only a year in his contract, so we could pick him up for cheap. Could be a very, very good addition to the squad. Comes in for potentially £4 million and comes straight into the starting 11. That would be a phenomenal pickup. Billing is going to cost us double that, and it's a player I'm not even a big fan of. See you later, my friend. Up next, we have got Max Aarons. Now, Max Aarons, same age as Jed Spence, one rating higher and is cheaper. I'd say make it make sense, because it doesn't. How is he cheaper? How is he cheaper, boys? Am I missing something here? I think it kind of makes sense to go in for Max Aarons here. I think I'd be silly to pass up potentially signing Max Aarons. We could be getting him for around £8 or so million. So he is for sure on the shortlist. It's between him and Jed Spence, 100%, but we'll come back to that in a second. We are still potentially at the moment. Cook is probably my front runner for a CDM pickup as well, as things stand. Archer and Ferguson, I'd love to pick up Ferguson. Very, very smart from them, by the way. They signed him to a new contract because he was on a year left in his contract, but looking at their asking price, they've signed him to another contract. Very smart, Sheffield United. Hamer again could be very interesting. Hamer could come in and be a real good pickup for us for around sort of £7-8 million and would be a real good box to box. I think Hamer's a really good shout. I'm going to take off Trusty. I'm going to take off Ahmedzovic as well. Probably butchering both their names. Mengi's also going to come off here. Doughty, £4 million. Can play right back and left back. Would be a real good pickup here. I'm half tempted to get Aarons and Doughty. I really am. I think that could actually be a really smart shout. Aarons, Doughty, and Cook. Or Aarons, Doughty, and Hamer. I'm signing one from each of the relegated teams. I'm sort of, you know, putting my hands in all the pies right now. I think those are some really smart shouts, boys. You might all think I'm crazy. Nakamba as well isn't a terrible option. Being 30 years of age, though, I'd want to start him. So if I sign Nakamba, I wouldn't then go and sign like a Hamer or a Cook, because there's no point signing him as a rotation at 30. His rating will just start to drop. And to be fair, at 74, it's going to keep dropping from there, isn't it, really? So ever so slightly torn, boys. Ever so slightly torn. Minetti 78, again, that's a real big pickup there, isn't it? Ladies and gents, I am very torn here. Okay. I think Max Aarons is too good to not sign. I think Jed Spence would be a real cool signing, but I think Max Aarons is just too good to pass up. So we're going to go in for Max Aarons here, boys. We're gonna try 8.4 is what they sort of said would be the lower end of what they think they'd consider. So I'm gonna offer 7. I know it's a low ball offer, but let's see if they're willing to negotiate. They want 10.5. Okay, so the tension is quite high already. So 7.5. I'm only gonna go up a little bit. Oh, they're pretty adamant on 10.5. All right, I'm gonna go 8.3 and see what they say. Okay, they're going to spend time to think about it. Okay, not ideal considering our next game is literally the next day, but I'm fine to wait. I'm a patient boy. Okay, so Aarons was a maybe. Hamer is then my next potential target. 7.5 value, 7.7 is what they said would be the lower end of what they think I should offer. So I'm going to again offer 7. 7.6, wow. Okay, I'm going to just say 7 again. And they're going to agree to £7 million, boys. That is an absolute steal. If we thought Hamer going to Sheffield United from Coventry was a steal, then the potential signing from Sheffield United to QPR is an absolute robbery, boys. £7 million for Gustavo Hamer. You wouldn't believe it. Coming in as what will be an incredibly important box-to-box for us. Very happy to potentially get this across the line. Let's offer 5 years, because I'd love you to be here as long as possible, mate. £28,000. You know what? I don't think you're going to bag 10 goals this season. No disrespect to you. But yes, you can have that contract. Gustavo Hamer, mate, makes his way into the club, and I am very happy with that indeed. What an absolutely phenomenal signing. I can't believe the price we've got him for, boys, if I'm being honest with you. That there is again, I say it, that's a steal. That's an absolute robbery. And Oxford is all about welcoming his new teammates. I'm here for this, Oxford, mate. I'm all about it, lad. As he's proving to be a bit of a leader right now, isn't he? So I'm very okay with that. But absolutely just quality signing coming into the team. Our new highest rated central midfielder. Yes, please. Yes, thank you. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Gustavo Hamer coming in. He's got the number 7 shirt on. We'll see if that's a shirt number he keeps. Not too sure on that just yet. But Hamer, another player across the line here. Another signing into the club. And the squad's just getting better and better at this point, boys. I really am happy with the business we are putting in. And it's working on bargains right now as well. Only a B. Very surprising that it's only a B. It's considerably less than his market value was. 5.8. There's no way I could have gone for 5.8. That is absolutely ridiculous. But comes in, as I say, as our newest and highest rated midfielder. Very okay with that. And last but by no means least, boys, we're going to go in for an offer on Alfie Doughty, who I believe has got a year on his contract here. And again, a player that we can try and pick up for a steal. £3 million is what I'm going to put on the table initially. They want Chaplin. It's a no from me, my friend. It is absolutely a no from me. 3.5. What you thinking? What you feeling? 3.85. That's not terrible. Let's go back to 3.5. I think 3.5 is absolutely not a fair deal. And you've agreed to it. Absolutely things you'll have to see, boys. I'm telling you, Master Negotiator, QPR, get me involved with your negotiations from here on out, because I am absolutely picking up players for pennies. And these, again, are players that are just going to come in and strengthen this squad, boys. They're going to come in and do a phenomenal job here. He wants important. That is because I'm fairly sure he is higher rated than Kenneth Powell. So that's something we're going to have to work on here, boys. We are going to have to decide, is Kenneth Powell going to be the starting man, or is he going to become our sort of rotation fullback option? Let me know after 10 appearances. No, I'm going to keep the offer the same as it was, my friend. And he does agree to it. 3 signings through the door in quick succession. Very happy with that indeed. A new fullback, a new central midfielder, and potentially a new right back. I say 3, it's 2 and a maybe at the moment, isn't it? 2 and a maybe. So very, very happy with that. Great pickup indeed. And yeah, I am absolutely okay with this. Let's see, is it Oxford again introducing? It is. Look at him. Reece Oxford is a man of the people, boys. He is here to introduce the world, and I'm absolutely okay with it. And Sandfield is his little mentor, and I'm absolutely okay with that too. But Hamer this time, look at him. Mate, to be fair, Hamer's a little stocky lad, and he's built, but he is but a wee boy. But all 3 of our new signings here, chilling out and getting to know each other. Things that you'll love to see. Doughty joining the blue and white of QPR as well. I'm telling you now, boys, we're picking up signings and players for prices that will keep you in a division. They will keep you from a relegation, because we're not spending stupid. We've done that before, and I'm not here to recreate that for QPR. I'm here to create some sustainable development, some sustainable signings. Again, another B surprises me a little bit. Apparently, I could have gone for 3. I don't think I could have done, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where I think. The main thing is, boys, I'm very, very happy with this. Oxford, Hamer, Doughty, and Larson all through the door. A grand total of, by the way, we have spent. Should we have a little look? Should we see how much money we've spent on all of these? So 6 million, 7 million, so that's 13. We've spent £16.5 million on these 4 signings. And if we sign Aaron's, then it's like mid-20s, early £20 million through the door. That would be a phenomenal window with money left to spend. Bear that in mind, boys. We have currently got £15 million left, and I'm fairly sure that includes the potential 8 million going off for Aaron's, I think. I can't remember. Does that include so transfers? Oh no, maybe it doesn't. Oh, you know what? That might not include Aaron. So it will be that most of our budget has gone, but I think the budget's been spent wisely. I mean, let me know what you guys think. I think that will be a very, very good window, in my opinion. I don't think we can particularly complain about the signings we've made. It will be a matter of I'm going to have to convert Doughty to play left back. And you know what? The bench doesn't even look that problematic, maybe apart from a keeper. And when we bring through Aaron's in, I think Ozzy will go to the bench. Like I said to you guys, I don't really want to drop Ozzy. I'm a big fan of Ozzy Kakai. And it will be that Jimmy Dunn potentially then becomes available. But we'll work that one out as we get there. Also, players starting to go up. You can see Clark Salter at a 74, Chair at a 76. Very, very happy with these signings. Chaplin at 73. Yeah, I'm just happy with the additions we've made, boys. Very happy with the additions we've made. What I'm going to do now, I've said I'll do it, and I'm going to tell you guys I'm doing it. This will kind of be possibly the last thing we do in the video today. It's time to sort out the shirt numbers, boys, all right? It's time to sort out the shirt numbers. Labrovic is our number 1. That shirt is available, and it is all his. Another shirt number that I know is happening is going to be Ozzy Kakai 2. Number 2 I know is his main shirt, but my love for Ozzy started when we shared a shirt number. So he's going to 24, and Aaron's will come in the number 2 shirt. Reece Oxford is the number 4. That's great. That's what I wanted to give him. Jake Clark Salter is going to be the number 3 shirt. Jimmy Dunn I'm not sure what shirt number he's going to be just yet. Kenneth Powell or Doughty. So Doughty, I think I'm going to give Doughty the number 2, boys. Doughty's going to be the number 2. Kenneth Powell can stay at 22. That's absolutely okay with me. Sam Field the Shield, number 8. Perfect. Wanted to make sure he was still on the number 8 shirt. Dazelle can stay on 17. Hamer can, I think Hamer can come in on number 7. I'm okay with that. Chair, are you going to stay at number 10? Absolutely okay with me as well there. Chrissy Willock, what shirt numbers Willock got right now? 14. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. He's going to be the number 7. I'm going to give Hamer the number... Oh, what number do I want to give Hamer here, actually? I was thinking of giving him the number 6. I'm going to give Hamer the number 6 shirt. I think that's a good choice for me there. I'm okay with that. Larson is going to come in, and he is going to be... I think Linden can stay at 9. Larson can come in at 11. Armstrong's going to stay on 30. And I think that's sort of the main starting 11, and everyone else is going to get the numbers that they sort of landed on. The only shirt that's still up for grabs is the number 2 shirt, and that will go to Aaron's if he comes in, or whoever we sign at right back, and Aussie will be the number 24. So again, a bit of a bit part episode today, boys. What I'm going to do is just go on to that last day and just see, just see if we did hear back from Bournemouth yet for Aaron's, but we didn't. So we're going to save game number 1 for the start of next episode. The first game in our new series is going to, or new seasons, I should say, will be in the next episode. So apologies for 2 sort of slightly odd episodes, but hopefully episodes you guys are enjoying. You can also see Phillips has gone to Everton. I will go through sort of big signings that have been made in the next video as well, and we'll go through like players that have moved from A to B, look at the biggest signings and things like that. But if you guys are enjoying the series, then please do leave a like on the video. It supports me, the video, the channel, and the series out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. If you want to catch us on the live streams, it's Hursty Games over on Twitch. There's a link down below along with links to all my social media, so go and check them out. Thank you very much for doing so. But that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I have been Tom. You guys have been awesome. Oh, and that was my microphone. My apologies. Take care, guys. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. Look after yourselves. Apologies if I give you a headache punching the mic. Take care.